Hello Gems, Leah from Red Emerald Yoga. Welcome back to my channel for today's reading. This is going to be a reading for the new moon in Scorpio. The new moon in Scorpio is the ideal time to make conscious decisions about your spiritual transformation. This is a time where you can set your intentions about who you're becoming and where you would like to go. When the new moon is in Scorpio, you might notice that your emotions seem extra intense and long-lasting. And if we're not careful during this time, we might kind of lash out and attack others. Scorpio is ruled by two rulers, Mars, which gives Scorpio its ferocity and lustful drives, and the modern ruler Pluto, which has a penchant for penetrating the darkness. Scorpio is very intense. Scorpio is a time when we may notice our sexual drives become a little bit more heightened. These could be erotic, sexual desires. We can also notice a drive for financial stability or wanting to have emotional power over others. If we are operating in our lower side, this might lead us kind of on a path for being power hungry or money hungry, and not really satisfying our need for deep emotional clarity. When Scorpio is wounded or hurt, it masks its own personal pain and uses its tail to lash out on others. The best way that we can channel this energy during this time of the new moon in Scorpio is by engaging in our spiritual practices, whether that be yoga, prayer, meditation, whatever it is that you believe in. During this time of the new moon in Scorpio, we can cultivate the skills that we need for personal transformation. We are able to turn over into the darkness to reveal the light by diving into our shadows and doing the work. So let's begin. Go ahead and pick a stone that resonates with you. This will be pile 1. Pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Go ahead and jump down to your timestamp below and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you have selected this stone, this reading is for you. Okay, let's begin. Which area of my life might experience the deepest transformation in the next 6 months? Here we have the 6 of Wands. I feel like this will be in your own self-worth, feeling that you are accomplished, and I feel like this would be really being comfortable in your own skin. Finally feeling like you've achieved what you have set out to do. I feel like this will be a time of heightening confidence in your life. I don't know if you have struggled with feeling like you are less than or unworthy, or maybe that other people were better than you, or maybe that you did not belong. But I feel like this is really going to be a time where you're kind of stepping into your self-worth. You're stepping into your power, recognizing your achievements and accomplishments. How can I healthily express my deepest desires? Here we have the 4 of Wands in the reverse. I feel like your deepest desires revolve around the home. And I feel like when you bring this up, it needs to be in a way that is constructive, not by pointing out what people are doing wrong or how they are lacking to meet your needs, your desires, your wants, but doing it in a way that is constructive and not destructive. I feel like really coming from a place of love. Card 3, Which elements of my shadow self need some extra attention and care? Here we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. I'm wondering if there is a way that you are feeling unheard, underappreciated. The Queen of Cups is she's very empathetic. She's very understanding, and as such, people tend to come to the Queen of Cups and they kind of dump their problems on her because she's so understanding. She can empathize with people. She usually has a kind word to say, and she's a great listener. But when the Queen of Cups is in the reverse, in a situation like this, like a reading like this, I don't really get bitchy vibes from this Queen of Cups. I'm kind of feeling like you're continually pouring from your cup, but your cup is not being refilled. I feel like you're giving, you're listening to everybody else, but maybe you don't feel like you have anyone to talk to share your troubles with, to share your concerns with. I feel like you're kind of like having, like you're kind of going through the motion and keeping up the appearances, but inside I feel like there's something that's weighing pretty heavily on your mind, and you don't feel like you have anybody to turn to who can really support you and be a good listener to you in this time. I feel like as long as it's them talking to you, they have all the time in the world to sit and talk about problems. But when it's your problems, your struggles, the people who come to you don't want to be a good listener. So perhaps you may need to go outside of your normal circles. Perhaps maybe call on a family member or a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while. You might even need to write it out if you have nobody that you can talk to. Write it out, do some shadow work, do some journaling if it is safe to do so, and then burn it. Just get it out and see if it releases some of that pent up emotion. If that's not cutting it for you, then you may need to speak to an expert, like a counselor, a coach, a therapist of some sort. How can I release the desire to control or manipulate outcomes? Here we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. I think that this card is just an understanding that when you try to control and manipulate outcomes, that they don't always work out in the way that you had planned. You may have had this wonderful idea, this wonderful vision, but when you try to plan these big, elaborate events or control these situations that are so much bigger than you give them credit for, it kind of falls flat. And then you're left feeling disappointed, and that you may be even harboring some anger or some resentment. I feel like these would be plans that you are doing with other people. These would not be plans that you're working on alone. And that may even begin to foster some sort of like anger and resentment, possibly with family. I don't know. Maybe why you feel like you can't talk to people. And I don't feel like all of your plans are bad. I mean, you have accomplished a lot. But maybe letting go of some of that need to control everybody and all these little things. Like, you don't need to micromanage everything. Where am I not being truly honest with myself? Here we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Again, I'm getting the feeling like you're putting on a front, you're putting on a show that everything is well, everything is okay. Look at me, I've got all my shit together, but inside you don't. Inside, there's a lot of emotion going on. I feel like there's a lot of building. It could be resentment. I feel like these would be like a lot of disappointments. I feel like you might need to practice some sort of gratitude meditation, really sitting down and acknowledging the role that others play in your life. I'm wondering if you give yourself, I don't know, like if you give yourself a crutch, like, things would have been better if that person didn't do this, or I'm this way because of what that person did. My house is like this because, my wife or my husband didn't do this, or I don't know, my house is dirty because my husband didn't clean I'm looking at these dishes, didn't do the dishes, but he's been working all day. And I'm not picking on you. I'm not making any judgments. I'm just telling you what I honestly see in the cards. I feel like it's like kind of a card of pointing fingers, not really looking at things. Like she's literally winking here. And I feel like it's keeping one eye on what other people are doing, but keeping another eye closed. And that's the eye that would be looking in the mirror. You're like, I'm going to look at what you're doing, but I'm not going to look at what I'm doing. Could be like, I'm going to look at what others are not doing and not what I'm not doing. How can I foster a deeper connection with my spiritual truth? Here we have the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying, in order to deeper your connection with your spiritual truth, you have to let go of this appearance, this facade that you're putting forth into the world. I feel like these things, this image that you're so focused on right now, it's not real. It's not what matters. And I feel like if you want to have a deeper connection with your spiritual truth, then that's where your focus needs to be. Not on what other people think. Not worried about so much about like how others perceive you. I think that this card is saying to let that go. Like this person's literally like dropping these pentacles here and they're just like falling away. Like, you know what? This is not my priority right now. This is advice from the tarot. Here we have the 8 of Swords in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying you are not a victim. You are stronger than what you see in the mirror. I feel like this card is suggesting that you realize that. This ribbon that used to bind you, it's starting to fall away. I feel like you're wanting to come out of this place. And I don't know if that has to do with like the image or, feeling less than other people. I don't know if you're comparing yourself to other people, but I feel like you realize, you know what I mean? That's like really not that true. And you're starting to kind of come out of that because this card is reversed. You're not really wanting to stay in this place of pity party, feeling sorry for yourself. You're ready to break free. You haven't fully broken free yet, but I feel like you're on your way. You've already removed this ribbon that holds you. And you see, like, it's not very tightly wrapped around her. She's not very tightly bound. This is advice from the Oracle. This is from the healing mantra. This card says expressing free will. It says my choices determine how brightly I shine. Oh my gosh, I love that. And it's like you're shining, not your stuff. If people are coming over to visit your house, if they're coming over to visit your stuff, that maybe that's not the person that you really want over. Let me see. Let me go to the book and see what this says. What is it? Expressing my free will. Okay, expressing my free will. When free will is expressed, the quality of your experiences is based not on the actions of others, but on how wisely and lovingly each moment is viewed. It doesn't match the unconsciousness of others or fight to have the final word. Instead, free will conveys the brightness of your soul through the sum of your words and actions, even when responding to those who aren't acting their best. This mantra is ideal for overcoming feelings of disempowerment, fulfilling personal goals, and becoming more ambitious. Oh my gosh, I love that. That literally is tying in with what I felt was coming up in your reading. Overcoming feelings of disempowerment. I feel like that's these cards here. Fulfilling personal goals. I feel like that's this one. Like these things that you're trying to plan, but it's like, even this one too, but like, like sometimes our goals have to take a sidestep. They don't always work out in exactly the way that we planned, and that's okay. And becoming more ambitious. That could be tying in here with this card. How it says, my choices determine how brightly I shine, not your stuff. Okay, pile one. So this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you did. And thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, pile two. If you've selected the stone, this reading is for you. Okay, card number one. Which area of my life might experience the deepest transformation in the next 6 months? Here we have the Five of Swords in the reverse. So this card is a card of conflict. The deepest transformation. I'm wondering if you might be seeking to avoid conflict when normally you would be the one, maybe not so much as the instigator, but I feel like you would definitely be the finisher. For some of you, I feel like you may take a more peaceful or diplomatic solution to conflict. For others, I feel that this may be like a forgiveness card. When others have offended you, you might be a little quicker to forgive their offenses rather than to strike. I feel like this would be, yeah, I'm really drawn to the person's outfit in this one, how it looks like a kimono. It kind of reminds me, I don't do Aikido, but to me, this reminds me of an Aikido uniform. I don't know if I'm way off on that, but that's what it reminds me of. And Aikido is more like a very peaceful, it's a peaceful art. I feel like you might think twice before reaching for this sword, before lashing out, before severing your ties with people. How can I healthily express my deepest desires? Here we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. When the Ace of Cups is in the reverse, I find that this card is like overly emotional. It's like too much emotion in a non-controlled way. This can be with like a romantic partner, but it doesn't have to be. So how can I healthily express my deepest desires? I feel like this is letting it go, not holding back, but doing it in a way where you don't seem so needy and childlike. Like maybe doing it not in the heat of the moment. If you're upset, if you're overly emotional about something, that is probably not the best time to express your deepest desires. I feel like it would be calming down, coming to a place of reason, and then calmly and rationally, then explaining your deepest desires. I feel like it's like really coming and being grounded and centered, not just like from this watery place and just like letting it go. And I feel like there's so much space for it to go wrong in that scenario. I feel like you really need to rest your cup on the saucer before it just like spills everywhere. I feel like just setting it down and then he's speaking, you know. You've collected what you want to, all of your thoughts. You've collected what you want to say and how you want it to come across, and then you let it come forth. Card 3, which elements of my shadow self need some attention and care? Card 3, the Knight of Swords. I feel like this would be your charging. So I have wiener dogs, and I don't really know what this dog is, but this looks like the dog on the beach. That it's like the arch nemesis. I think it's a corgi. I could be wrong, but to me, this dog looks like a corgi. And anytime you see a wiener dog and a corgi at the park or at the beach, they're like, you know, they instantly like charge and attack. It's so funny. That's the element of your shadow self that needs some attention and care. That thing, that whatever it is that instantly triggers you and where you just want to like go and charge like the wiener dog and the corgi, that's where you need to pay attention to. Like, what is this thing that triggers me so badly, and why do I instantly go into attack mode? What is it? Why is it triggering me so badly? What does it bring up? What am I trying to protect? What am I trying to avoid? Card 4, how can I release the desire to control or manipulate outcomes? Here we have the Emperor in the reverse. I feel like this would be loosening the reins a little bit, not incurring your wrath on others when things don't go your way. Again, I feel like that's like this little corgi and wiener dog vibes going on. I feel like this little scroll thing, that's like the list of your demands, you know, and it's like you expect a lot. You have very high expectations. And when things don't go your way, I feel like, again, might become overly emotional, and then when you feel like those emotions are coming up, that's probably when you want to charge, when you want to attack. And I feel like this would just be like kind of like going with the flow, kind of like Bruce Lee's Be Water. You know how he talks about how water is shapeless and it's formless, and it can take the shape of whatever container it's put into. You know, water can be soft and gentle, and then water can be powerful and destructive. But it goes with the flow. It can be forceful when needed, but it's not. You don't always have to be so forceful. I feel like you don't need to be so rigid. You don't need to be so structured. Give people leeway. Allow people to make mistakes. Sometimes you can help to bring order to a situation by simply not reacting. You don't always have to charge. You don't always have to incur wrath. Sometimes you can simply just be still and see what happens. Where am I not being truly honest with myself? Here we have the Four of Cups. I feel like there's some aspect in your life where you may be feeling a little bit bored. Somebody may be presenting something to you and you're just like, I don't really know if I want that. I don't even know if I want to take the time to look at what you're presenting. I don't really know if I want to listen to that. So I don't know if you're being bored and you're like pretending that you still are interested, pretending that you're still in it to win it in this situation, or if you're getting bored and it's obvious to other people, but you're maybe not being honest with yourself. Card 6. How can I foster a deeper connection with my spiritual truth? Here we have the Hierophant. Maybe you are bored. Maybe that's why you came up as the Emperor. And the Knight of Swords. And then here with the Five of Swords in reverse, I feel like you coming out as the victor. I feel like you are an intelligent person. I feel like you really know what you're talking about. And when things don't go your way, it's highly agitating. Like, why didn't you just listen to me? I told you this was the way that it should have been done. And, that's why things are messed up right now. But I feel like as far as your deep connection with your spiritual truth, I feel like you have hit a plateau, but yet you don't know all that there is to know. I feel like this is a situation where you need to find a teacher. You need to find a guru. You need to broaden what it is that you're looking at. Where are you getting your information from? And I feel like you need to branch out a little bit more. This is advice from the tarot. Here we have the Three of Pentacles. I feel like this card is saying play nice with others, pile 2 person. I'm really drawn to how it's just like an angel. And the Three of Pentacles is normally about working with others, being a part of a team. And I feel like this is just saying play nice. Put your claws away. Let's go and see which oracle card you got. Here we have invoking self-realization. And your card says, each breath confirms how awake I already am. Invoking self-realization. Okay, let me see. Self-realization is a spontaneous remembrance of your interconnection to all that is. You are willing to embrace your individuality as a unique expression of Source in physical form. By aligning with the breath, you see that, while you appear to be a person, it is the universe that breathes everything into existence. This mantra is ideal for reducing stress, managing pain, and relaxing the nervous system. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Perhaps your guru, your teacher, the thing that you need to expand on might be something to do with breath, with pranayama, some form of breath work. I always say that pranayama, that's the magic of yoga. Without the breath work, without the pranayama, yoga is kind of just like glorified stretching. It's glorified like gymnastic poses. But when you add in the breath, the movement with the breath, that's when the magic happens. I have seen phenomenal things happen in my own life and in those around me. Yes, it does great things for your body, like physically, but when you add in the breath, when you bring your awareness to your breath, you're focused on the breath as the most important part of your practice. That's where the magic happens. I don't know for sure, pile 2 person, because, this is a collective reading. So for some of you, that may not be where you need to put your focus for this 6th card to foster a deeper connection with your spiritual truth. But I think for many of you, that's going to be connected to this card. For those of you who that is not the connection to this 6th card, you'll have to decide for yourself in which way you need to branch out to deepen your connection with your spiritual truth. But I think that when you do, it's really going to bring a balance in all the areas of your life. It's going to help you with your emotions, with your communication with others, and it's going to help you from really feeling this need to lash out at others. It's going to help you not be so rigid and wanting to control others around you and control all the situations that you find yourself in. You're going to be a little bit more easygoing and just kind of like a little bit more fluid in your dealings with people once you figure out what this missing piece is in your spirituality. So, pile 2, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you have selected this stone, this reading is for you. Let's begin. Okay, card 1. Which area of my life might experience the deepest transformation in the next 6 months? Here we have the 5 of Wands. So for me, this is my Veruca Salt card. I really get strong Veruca Salt vibes here from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when she wants the goose that lays the golden egg. As long as Veruca Salt gets what she wants, she's the sweetest little thing ever. And the second she doesn't, then shit hits the fan. I feel like your deepest transformation in the next 6 months is going to be when things don't go your way. You're going to react better with the people around you. You're not going to just make a bunch of noise and chaos. You know, if others are in this Veruca Salt thing, you know, like you're not going to play into it. You're not going to feed the beast. You're just going to take a step back and be like, you know what, like I'm not even going to react because I think that's what you want. And you're just going to kind of start to like diffuse the situation instead of lighting a match to it. Card 2. How can I healthily express my deepest desires? Here we have the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. How can I healthily express my deepest desires? Normally I see this card as like somebody who's really working on their skills. I feel like these are accomplishments, achievements that she's hanging on the wall. I feel like believing in yourself would be the very first step. I feel like this would be a card of not bragging. This would be like expressing what you need without sounding boastful, or not like putting yourself up on a pedestal. Like, this is what I need because I'm so great. You know, not coming from a place like that. I feel like this is believing in yourself. I feel like this is coming from a more humble place, but also at the same time, not diminishing yourself, if that makes sense. And maybe for some of you, this card just means like really practicing, vocalizing what it is that you want. I feel like some of you have difficulty with that. Maybe you've never been allowed to honestly express yourself. Maybe you've held back because you were like, you know what, like, I don't know how that's going to be received. Or maybe this person expects me to behave a certain way, and I feel like I always have to behave in this way. And I feel like you just don't have the practice. I feel like starting small, you know, maybe start with expressing your deepest desire for dinner or for dessert. Maybe expressing your deepest desire with a romantic partner. Maybe like it doesn't have to be something so scary like sex or marriage or anything like that, but it could be like, you know, hey, you know, I always wanted to do this, I don't know, this workout together, or I always wanted to try this, or I always wanted to try, I don't know, whatever, like this hiking trail or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw like safe things out there, you know, but just like throwing something out there that you've always wanted to do and never have, that you've never spoken about. Start small. And then once you see like, whoa, you know what, like nothing bad happened when I started with this tiny thing, then practice with a bigger thing and a bigger thing and a bigger thing. And then you'll see like, you know what, you're going to start to be able to create the life that you want because you're able to really put yourself out there. Card 3, which elements of my shadow self need some attention and care? Here we have the World in the reverse. I feel like this could possibly be a divorce. I feel like this could be an engagement that was not followed through with. This could literally be, this is a collective reading. For some of you, this might be, or even like one of you, this might be like kind of like left at the altar type deal, or like the the wedding like didn't happen like right before the wedding. I feel like you're right there at the threshold and you just like have to cross over, but for some reason that was not able to cross over. This could be not getting a promotion that you really deserved. This could be not getting the job that you worked so hard for. I'm really strongly feeling like for a lot of you, it has to do with a past romance. Maybe even a death. Somebody that you have not fully grieved properly. You never really got closure. And I feel like this would have been something that happens like more long term ago. I don't really get the feeling like it's like a recent thing. Card 4. How can I release the desire to control or manipulate outcomes? Temperance in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying less is more. This is definitely a card of balance, but in this card, I kind of get like party girl vibes. You don't actually have to be a girl for that to apply to you, but I kind of feel, I don't normally get like temperance, like prohibition era temperance from this card. I usually find it like more of like a balance, like a balance card. But in this deck, I do feel like it has to do with finding balance and not overindulging in substances. I'm wondering if you try to control or manipulate outcomes, it then creates the condition. The situation is perfect for then you to go have that drink, or for you to go and get high, or for you to go and do whatever it is that you indulge in because, you know, these people, this person, whatever, did this, and then you like kind of like fed into it, or maybe you even like orchestrated it, and then the person reacted in the way that you had intended, and then it's like, aha, because you did that, now I'm going to go have a drink because you made me mad, or something of that nature. Card 5. Where am I not? And it doesn't even have to be that. It could be something like shopping. It could be something like sex. It could be something like emotionally shutting down and going in front of the TV and zoning out and nobody can talk to you or bother you. You know, like it doesn't have to be that, but I feel like it's something like some sort of addiction. Like you can have an addiction to your cell phone. You can have an addiction to food, you know, but whatever it is, it's like an unhealthy addiction. And I feel like you're manipulating situations and people so you can get to your addiction, whatever that is. Please know that I'm not judging you. I'm just honestly conveying what I see in the cards. Card 5. Where am I not being truly honest with myself? Here we have the 2 of Cups. I do feel like this has to do with a relationship. More than likely romantic, but it does not have to be. I feel like this card is tying in with this one, more than likely. And it's probably stemming from this situation here. Please excuse the noise outside. How can I foster a deeper connection with my spiritual truth? Here we have the 10 of Swords in the reverse. Normally I see the 10 of Swords as an ending, but swords are also representative of communications. And I'm really drawn to how the 10 of Swords is like an ending, and so is the world. and how all of these swords are pointed at this person. I'm wondering if this person left you with some unkind words that still haunt you. And I'm wondering if those words have stayed with you and made you feel less than, made you feel like you're unworthy of love, have driven you to this addiction, and I'm wondering if that's what's caused a disconnect with your spirituality. Like if those words have caused you to feel hopeless and lost. To me, this is like kind of like a rock bottom card in this deck. I feel like this card is saying, you don't have to dwell here with these words that this person said. Like even if they were true at some point, they don't have to stay true. They may not even be true now. Maybe they were never true. But I feel like in the reverse, when you connect with your spiritual truth, whatever that means to you, I feel like these swords are going to start to fall away. That you're going to come into a place of healing. But I feel like you're going to have to come to terms also with whatever shadow this is, with whatever thing you were not able to cross through that wreath, with whatever is keeping you stuck from your past. This is advice from the tarot. Here we have the Fool in the reverse. And I feel like this card is saying to really think about things when you're going to make a decision, a big decision. This is not like, what am I going to wear tomorrow for school or work? This is like a big decision. Don't just jump in. To really think about it and not to just make a foolish decision. Not to act without thinking. Advice from the tarot, or from the oracle. Growing beyond guilt. This card says it couldn't have happened any other way. I don't know what that means to you, but I'm going to go to the book and see what it has to say. Growing beyond guilt. When you grow beyond guilt, there is a heartfelt acceptance that any sequence of events unfolds in a perfect flow that is organized and expressed by the universe. This takes the pressure of control off your shoulders so you can enjoy the way in which life has come to be. Since everything is destined to change and can only change you for the better, growing beyond guilt enables you to see how exquisitely the gift of life unfolds. This mantra is ideal for releasing the past, unhooking from karmic patterns, and forgiving yourself. It couldn't have happened any other way. So, pile 3, I don't really know what that means to you, but I feel like whatever it is, whatever happened, whatever these things are, just coming to a place where you accept them for what they are, for what they were, and releasing that person. Releasing yourself of any guilt or blame, forgiving yourself if need be. Forgiving them, not because if they have wronged you, it doesn't mean that what they did was okay, or that you need to invite them over for tea and every holiday after that because you forgave them. It just means that you're releasing them. You're not having this energetic connection to them anymore. You're freeing yourself. Forgiveness is more about you than it is about them. So, pile 3, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you enjoyed it, please comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, pile 4. If you have selected this stone, this reading is for you. Okay, card 1. Which area of my life might experience the deepest transformation in the next 6 months? Here we have the 2 of Wands in the reverse. I feel like plans may change. Like you may really have your sights set on something, and over the next 6 months, the grass may not look so green over there. You may have a different desire, a different drive pulling you. How can I healthily express my deepest desires? Queen of Wands. Own it. I love it. Embrace who you are, what you desire, and don't be afraid to show that to the world. The Queen of Wands is not afraid to show who she is. She doesn't care what other people think about her. She's not worried about what they'll say. This is a very confident queen. She knows how to work a room, and she loves to have a party. I feel like this definitely ties in with Scorpio energy. The Queen of Wands, she's really sexy to me, and she's not afraid to step on the wild side. Card 3, which elements of my shadow self need some attention and care? Here we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Collective reading, I feel like some of you may have let yourself go. And I don't mean that as a dig or in a disrespectful way in any way, but I feel like your priorities may have shifted and you're not really so focused on yourself because you're so busy taking care of others. I feel like this card is an invitation to take a time out, take that bubble bath, take that shower. Take that nap if you need it. If you have a friend or family member, like if you're, a new parent and, you're tired and there's somebody who has offered, to give you a helping hand, let them say yes if you feel safe to do so. If you've got this like gut instinctual feeling, like go with that for sure. But, if it's a person that you trust, yeah, let them help you. That's not going to apply to everybody, so like maybe you're going and you're getting that massage, you're going for that chiropractor appointment, you're going for that dental appointment that you've put off, like you're doing something for you. You're taking care of you. You're not feeling guilty for buying yourself a new outfit. You're not feeling guilty for buying yourself a pair of new shoes if you need it. You don't always have to put everybody else first. You can only pour from a full cup. And so sometimes it's okay to refill your own cup. You can still nurture, you can still love, you can still take care of others, but you also need to put time in your schedule for yourself. Card 4, how can I release the desire to control or manipulate outcomes? Here we have Judgment. The next time you get the desire to control or manipulate an outcome, to control or manipulate the situation, the people that you're interacting with, just take a time out and think like, is this really fair what I'm doing? How would I feel if this was being done to me? Am I doing something that I know is wrong? Really weighing the scales. I don't feel like the Judgment card is a card that is coming up because you're naive of the situation. I think you know what you're doing. I think you know what you do, and you may not always get this like Jiminy Cricket voice, like your inner conscience telling you something that you like, hey, you know what, pile 4 person, oh, that sucks, or I can't believe you just did that. But when you do, I feel like you need to listen to it. That's the only way that you're going to be able to rein this in, this desire to control or manipulate outcomes. starting today, whenever you're listening to this, if you're listening to this right before you go to bed, then, start in the morning. First thing in the morning, not like, oh, next time or after this person. Start with that first person. Card 5, where am I not being truly honest with myself? Here we have the 2 of Pentacles. I feel like you're not being honest with your time or with the attention that you give to real world situations. These could be people. This could be like work and home life balance. This could be your family and social media. This could be like whatever. I don't know. You fill in the blanks. But I feel like and it doesn't have to be just 2 places, but I feel like you're being spread too thin. You're overcommitted, and you need to figure out how to divide yourself, how to divide your time. Again, in a way that's fair. Fair to you and fair to others. How can I foster a deeper connection with my spiritual truth? Here we have the 10 of Pentacles. To me, this is a family card. If you have an immediate family, I would say, like, get the family involved. Is there some way that the family can be involved, or is the family already involved and you're just not involved, probably because you're too busy? If that's the case, then, make the time. If they're not involved, then figure out a way to get them on board. But I feel like this would be a way to bring people together. Does not necessarily have to mean going to church as a family. Maybe you guys do something spiritual together, like maybe you guys go hiking together, or maybe you guys, I don't know, I'm just speaking about my family, we go surfing, like we like to surf together, and to us that's a spiritual thing that we do. Maybe you guys do yoga together, maybe you guys work out together, maybe you guys go for a run together, maybe you guys, I don't know, it's going to be different for everybody, because everybody's in different situations. And if you don't have an immediate family, if you live alone, or if you're like the black sheep of the family, then this would be your closest circle of friends, the people that you consider to be your family. This would be your A-team. Here we have the 7 of Wands in the reverse. This is advice from the tarot. For me, this is a whack-a-mole card. It's like every time she hits one of these wands away, another one pops up, and they just keep coming. Because this card is in the reverse, I feel like this is some sort of an internal struggle. This is like an internal battle that you're having, pile 4 person. I feel like these could be reliving past events. But I feel like this card is saying, like, you know what, like, don't give up. Like, things are going to be okay. Quiet these things in your head to divert your attention to something else. And maybe that's why you're having a hard time over here. Or maybe that's why you judge people unfairly. Maybe that's why you're trying to control or manipulate outcomes, because you're so afraid of things happening like they did before. But you know what this thing is saying? Like, you were left standing. Nobody bested you. You overcame this difficult situation. And you're okay now. You're okay. Even though the odds were against you, you were able to overcome. And you don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in doubt. These things are not always going to pop up. It won't always be the case. This is advice from the Oracle. Releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. I'm going to go to the book and see what that has to say. Wait, what was that? Releasing expectations. Okay, releasing expectations. When you release expectations, it is no longer your job to be in control of reality. You are a soul birthed from the fabric of destiny, where only the perfection of universal will takes shape and form. Once expectations are released, a life beyond your wildest imagination is given permission to enter your reality. This mantra is ideal for having more faith, learning how to trust, and alleviating disappointment. Okay, pile 4. So I don't know if you need to learn how to trust your family or if you need to learn how to alleviate your disappointments. But I think that if you're so focused on what could possibly go wrong, oh my God, so-and-so is going to mess up again because they did it in the past. Or every time I do this, this happens. Or every time, every time I trust people, they let me down. You're always going to be hyper-focused on that, whatever it is that you don't want to happen. And so like when the slightest little thing happens, you're gonna be like, ha, there it is. There it is. I knew it. If I trusted in this person, they were gonna let me down. But it's like, you're so focused on that one time when they let you down. And then like 2 weeks later goes by, or so many days go by and they let you down again. But like, how many times did they not let you down? Are you focusing on that? Are you looking at all that you have to be grateful for? Are you acknowledging all the times that they came through? Or are you only focused on the negative? So pile 4, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed your reading, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Bye.